Welcome to week 7, the week of May 3rd, 2020, and the episode of the Tales of an Essential Service Provider. Once again, this is Marc Cervantes, it's Cervantes Chat and Prints. As you notice, I've kind of changed things up and I'm sitting the other way from my desk, so kind of jazzing it up this week. Well, this week was really slow. And a week that I would normally have probably 9 or 10 closings. This week we only had one closing. A couple of them got extended till next week, but we are fully seeing the results of COVID in contracts from late March to beginning of April. That should be closing right now. We're hoping that it increases better, but at this point right now, revenue and also volume are down. So a couple things I've noticed this week. First of all, with regards to the recorder's office, as I've said in previous episodes, the recorder's office is closed. They are recording things remotely and electronically. So even if you submit a deed, in this case I tried to submit a quitclaim deed last week, normally I would just walk across the street and that deed would get recorded and I would have the recorded version in my hand. But since the recorder's office is closed, you set it in queue, you get an email that it's in queue, and the recorder's office gets to it when it gets to it. So for my clients that are refinancing based on the divorce, the recorded deed, I have to check every single day to see it gets recorded, and it's going to get recorded when it does. The other things that we've been seeing with regards to the county are zoning certification. So when a seller needs to sell something in the city of Chicago, and it is not a condominium, but it is also less than 5 units or less, you have to get a zoning certification from the city of Chicago. Normally, this takes a maximum of 5 business days, but now you make a request, and once again, when the county gets to it, they get to it. So hopefully not a lot of people are having their closings delayed because of their zoning certifications. The one closing I did have this week was a couple that was moving back to Illinois, and they had never seen actually the property they were buying. So I found it interesting that they did everything virtually. They took a virtual tour, made an offer based on that virtual tour, and also the recommendation and all the details that the agent gave. So they did their final walkthrough, and an hour later that we closed. So I think we're going to be finding more and more of those coming up as long as the stay-at-home order sets in place, especially for out of town. So realtors out there, make sure you take great photos, take very good videos, because people are still willing to make offers based on that information. And then another thing that it's been troubling that I've seen this week is a lot of people and a lot of parties are trying to use the COVID pandemic as an excuse for, in my opinion, defaulting terms and contracts. With regards to these, the common response is, oh, due to COVID, due to COVID, due to COVID. Well, I get a lot of it. I think a lot of people are using it as a catch-all excuse. And, I've had to push back on a lot of attorneys with regards to the COVID excuse. I'm sure a lot of them are valid, but I can tell which ones are not. Well, this week, what are we going to stream? Actually, tonight, we're going to stream Seinfeld's new stand-up on Netflix. We've finished a couple other series, but week 7 is over. Once again, this is Marc Cervantes with Tales of Essential Service Provider. We're here to help. If you have any comments or any questions, leave them down in the comments. Thank you very much and have a great weekend.